How's it going, everyone? As it does happen historically, we do have some Black Friday deals that are going live early. You guys know how these things work. The deals for Black Friday have been going live earlier and earlier. Right now, we do have a lot of the e-tailers, retailers putting out some of their physical deals. Definitely not all of the stuff, but you'll see things slowly trickle in. Just check periodically, but I am here to highlight some really good stuff, particularly one deal that I would highly recommend everybody to jump on, given that it's a super recent game and it's seeing a heavy discount in a game that I really enjoyed. A couple of other deals, some good stuff across the board, so let's just highlight what I think is worthwhile. This isn't going to cover everything, but this stuff that I think is quite good. Right off the top, Mafia the Old Country is down to $29.99. Tremendous deal for a game that just came out, 3 months ago, I want to say it was, and I really enjoyed it. Now, I was very much looking forward to Mafia the Old Country being, that 8 to 10 hour, maybe a little bit longer, like 11 hour-ish single player experience, and it was just a great time for me. I know some people weren't thrilled with some of the narrative decisions that were made in the game, especially by the end, but I thought overall it was a really well done game. Gameplay was solid, the visuals were great, the voice acting was tremendous, and I just had a great time with it, and I'm so happy that 2K came out and said, hey, the game did exceed commercial expectations, which I'm not saying the game did blow away numbers, but it seems like 2K went into releasing the game with tempered expectations, or expectations in line with what a game like this is gonna do, and it exceeded expectations, and that probably means that we're gonna get more games like this. It came out at a $50 price point, but I do know some people were a little bit hesitant on dropping $50 on it. I was expecting, hey, ideally we'll get it 30% off for $34.99, even better, $29.99. Exceptional deal. Will it be cheaper? Probably. Games like this always get cheaper. I wouldn't even be surprised if at some point, maybe late next year, it ends up as a PlayStation Plus Extra title or even a PlayStation Plus Essential title. But yeah, if you want a physical copy of it, $29.99, I think this is an excellent deal. Highly recommended, and definitely, as far as the deals we've had so far this season, and it's still very early on, the best deal that I could recommend. It's gonna get beamed. There's gonna be a lot of other great deals, but this is one that I definitely think is a home run, and I would highly recommend if it's the type of game that seems up your alley. If you want a shorter, narrative-driven experience, to the point, again, a great pickup there. Recommend that. Borderlands 4 at a new low price of $49.99. I told you guys all what to expect on this. It was gonna get cheaper, and I think it'll continually get cheaper and cheaper and cheaper, and maybe quicker than you guys expect. But smart money players, and you guys all know this, you wait a year or two at this point. Look, you avoided the first 2 months of the game. And the game came out, it got all that buzz and all that attention, and now people have moved on, and that's usually what happens. But what 2K wants out of this game is for people to now buy the game and ultimately buy all of the DLC content that they're gonna drip feed you with over time. You know, this does have some of those live service aspects to it, but down the line, guys, smart money play, 2 to 3 years down the line, you're gonna get the super duper deluxe edition for $30 with all of the content. And yeah, games always get cheaper, but there's a difference of going from paying $50 for Borderlands 4 now to waiting a couple of years and then getting a ridiculous more amount of content and paying a cheaper price point as well. I just think this is one that if you already missed out on the initial wave, unless you're like super into Borderlands and for whatever reason you didn't check it out initially, you know, pick it up then. But I thought the game was totally serviceable. It's Borderlands. It's not blow away, but I think it's totally fine. But at this point, again, wait until 2027. Hell, maybe even if you're picking up a PlayStation 6, the Borderlands 4 PS6 edition will be a launch title. I would not be surprised whatsoever by that. A couple of deals over at GameStop that I think are quite good. Weird West, the Definitive Edition Deluxe, is $10. I mean, I really dug Weird West. It's one of the few games we did a full review for on this channel, and I gave it an 8.5 out of 10, and I thought the game was really well done. For $10, definitely think it's a great pickup, and it was available as a PS Plus Essential title a while back, but at this price point, a good pickup there. My JRPG guys out there, a little bit more of a niche one that a lot of you guys missed out on. Visions of Mana is down to $20 flat. I think this is a great price for Visions of Mana. I played it right when it came out, and This is one that you definitely want to go into with tempered expectations. Expect more of a AA JRPG with, you know, a charming cast of characters, solid gameplay. Just don't expect anything blowaway. But sometimes as a JRPG player, you kind of want something that's just charming, a little bit of fun, but it's not too serious. I think you'll still have a good time with it, and for 20 bucks, it's the perfect price to pay. Final Fantasy 16 is $20. At some point, I really do believe that Square Enix is going to re-release this game as a complete edition. Maybe they're waiting on next-gen consoles on this because they're not even upgrading it on PS5 Pro, which I do think is a bummer. I love Final Fantasy 16, though. I've been pretty vocal about my thoughts on the game. I thought it was really well done, and I think for 20 bucks, it's a really good pickup, but the DLC is quite good. But unfortunately, you don't have that complete edition available right now, so it is what it is. Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade is $20, which it's FF7 Remake. It's a good deal. The physical copy of Remake generally does hold up in price for a while. This game became a little bit of a rarity and got juiced up in price. That's really not going to be the case, especially with the Twin Pack coming out in December with Rebirth as well, but that's coming out at 60 bucks, so you know, this for $20, I think is a good buy. Romancing Saga 2 Revenge of the Seven is down to 20 bucks, a game that so many people loved. I just personally couldn't get into it. The Saga games are really not my cup of tea, but, you know, I gotta give this one another shot. 20 bucks, though. Pretty good pickup. Next up, we do have Star Wars Outlaws. It's down in $19.99. I've said in previous videos that there's gonna come a time where Star Wars Outlaws gets to a price threshold where a lot of people start picking it up because, you know, it's not $130 for the Ultimate Edition or anything like that, or even $70, and, you know, it'll get to that right price point where people will want to check it out, and people will be like, hey, it's not as bad as people made it out to be, and I really don't think it is. I played this right when it came out, and I was like, yeah, absolutely, don't pay $70 on it, but now that it's down to $19.99, only a little over a year after its release, I actually think it's a pretty good buy. I'm not a big Star Wars guy, but I've always appreciated the setting, and I think, you know, thematically, it's a pretty great world, and for $19.99, I think this is a pretty good pickup. Just go into it, not expecting a blowaway open world, but a pretty decent one, and for a Ubisoft game, a little bit more contained in the sense that it's not an overwhelming amount of content, so $19.99 on that. We do have Dead Rising Deluxe Remastered for $20. This came out a year ago. $50 was kind of outrageous as a price point, but for 20 bucks, I think it's pretty damn good. Some over-the-top zombie slaying action. It's always a pretty good time, so I would say check that out. Dragon Quest III HD 2D Remake is down to $35. A lot of interest in this right now, given that DQ 1 and 2 just came out, but yeah, $35 on that. This is the first game in the Erdrick trilogy, so you play this, and then you go into DQ 1, and then you go into DQ 2, so yeah, this is what you want to start with. $35 on that. And then lastly, we do have Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver 1 and 2 Remastered down to $19.99. So a pretty good deal on this. Obviously a classic, not a game that I grew up with, but a lot of people did really enjoy it, so yeah, and this was pretty good. It seems like the Aspire remastered releases, like some of them turn out really well, and then others, you get Battlefront, you get, you know, some others that aren't as well received, but Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver 1 and 2 generally pretty damn well received. $19.99 on that. And yeah, check that out. And that's gonna do it for me. Again, the Black Friday deals are rolling out right now, and we're getting some good stuff. I think that Mafia Old Country deal is absolutely fantastic, and some other really good ones. I mean, if you really want Borderlands 4, you can check it out. I think the Weird West deal, low-key, is really good. Star Wars Outlaws, I think that's a game that some of you guys might pick up and be pleasantly surprised with. Remember that that game is one that does require an internet connection. Not all the content is on disc, unfortunately. But that'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, thank you for watching. Sound off down below, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.